I've listened to Rio by Duran Duran for a year and a half.
And I listened to it once yesterday.
Welcome to Spin It. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, the record-ranking podcast, in fact, for people who'd rather be listening to music. I'm James. With me, hungry like some carnivorous canine. Can't quite put my finger on it. It's Connor.
I've got two wolves inside of me, and both of them are hungry.
Yeah, I bet. I've thought of that the entire time I was thinking about this episode and taking notes about it. The wolves fighting inside of you, your music-loving wolf and your lyric-loving wolf. I wonder how they're going to play together on this album.
Time will tell.
It will. And this episode is kind of an odd time. I know the Mixtaper brought Hungry Like the Wolf as his optimal Halloween song. Is that right? No, Thanksgiving. He wanted it to be a Thanksgiving song during Mixtober.
Yeah.
When he was choosing Halloween songs for other holidays. It was kind of a complicated concept.
He's trying to give back.
Yeah.
During the Mixtober season to the less fortunate holidays.
Yes, and I thought about doing Hungry Like the Wolf then and Rio, but it wasn't time yet, but I knew I wanted to do it soon. So here we are, doing it now. In the run-up to 250, honestly, that's creeping closer very fast.
Very fast, yeah.
That's exciting.
Quarter of a century.
Yes. But before that, we have to talk about Duran Duran. Do you know anything about Duran Duran?
I prefer to sit.
Oh, yeah. Well, after you've Duran, you can sit, because then you're done Durunning.
If I'm running, I'm just sleeping.
Okay. Yeah, well, sure.
I know a lot about Duran Duran, though, actually.
Oh, really? Why is that? Is this music in your wheelhouse? Early 80s.
One I'm familiar with, yeah.
Interesting.
The 80s is my time.
Yeah. I didn't know this whole album for many years of my life, but I knew Rio and Hungry Like the Wolf eons ago. I mean, they were on my old iPod Touch. They might have been on like a Rock Band game or something. I don't know. I don't even know how I found Rio, but Hungry Like the Wolf, I feel like it's one of those songs you hear somewhere, somehow, and it sticks with you.
Yeah.
But I don't know where I found Rio first.
The movie?
No, I actually never saw the movie Rio. I've never been to Rio, and I've only danced on the sand occasionally, so it's a bit of a mystery.
Fair enough.
Well, Duran Duran, they're one of those bands that I didn't realize was British for a long time, just because I knew them so young before I really cared about that. It was fun to learn about them and kind of how they pioneered or were a big part of the second British invasion. You know about the first British invasion with the Beatles and the Who and all these early 60s pop rock kind of bands making waves across the ocean.
We've covered a lot about that invasion.
We have. Yeah, that's true. Not as much from the second British invasion, but we've done a few that kind of qualify. You know, the Whams and the Rios and the Culture Clubs.
Sequel's never as good.
The sequel's never as good. Well...
Unless it's Terminator 2.
Oh, really? Did you think Terminator 2 was better than Terminator 2? Thank you. That's my stupid joke of the day.
You said Terminator 2, and now I'm just imagining, like, him being like Sarah Connor, and he's just, like, wearing a tutu.
Wonderful. I've never seen Terminator. You know, as of the March Madness episode, you all know I haven't seen a lot, so there you go. But the second British invasion, yes, Duran Duran, they were formed in Birmingham, England, in 1978. It's another band that was founded by childhood friends. There was John, also known as Nigel Taylor, and Nick Rhodes. They named the band after the character Dr. Duran Duran from the sci-fi movie Barbarella, which they had watched the day before they made a band. So I guess they really liked the name. It's almost like they watched the movie, said, that would be a great band name. If only there were a band with that name. Maybe we should make one.
Oh, it could be us.
It's perfect. Kind of a good idea to ditch the D's at the end, though. Durand. It's a little more cumbersome than Duran Duran, which kind of rolls right off the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Barbarella? You a sci-fi guy?
I haven't seen it, actually. I was just sitting here making a mental note to go see it.
Whoa! We got to do a movie review for it.
Okay.
We probably won't. I don't know anything about it much, but...
So we probably won't, but...
Now I know that it inspired the band. Well, those friends, they brought in their buddy Stephen Duffy, who Taylor knew from art school, another art school buddy band. They started playing gigs in April of 1979. One of those gigs, fun fact, was actually in a club called Barbarella's, just like that same movie. So they're like intimately tied to the Barbarella. Wild.
Wow.
Yeah. Taylor played guitar and sang. Nick Rhodes did the synth. Stephen Duffy played bass and sang as well. They picked up a clarinet player along the way, which is an interesting addition to that lineup. And they also found Roger Taylor to play drums for them. Now, that is not any relation to the Roger Taylor of Queen. Totally separate Roger Taylor. But that lineup, they recorded a few demos, including a really, really early version of their eventual hit Girls on Film. But then Duran Duran went through some lineup changes in late 1979. Their solid lineup was locked in by 1980, the turn of the decade, and it consisted of Nick Rhodes on keyboards, John Taylor on guitar and later on bass, Simon Le Bon with his absolutely iconic vocals, Andy Taylor on the guitar, and Roger Taylor on the drums. Now, John Taylor, Andy Taylor, and Roger Taylor, also not related. those are three distinct Taylor families in one band. That'd be like if my name was Connor and the Mixtaper's name was Connor. We'd have an awful time with three Connors on the podcast. You'd never know who's who.
I'd know.
Yeah, as the original Connor.
I think, honestly, Connor, and Connor, that should be a podcast. Connor, and Connor.
It should. You should find two other Connors and do it on the side.
Is it better if they're all spelled the same way? Or if they're all spelled different?
Well, if you do it different ways, you're kind of ripping off Ed, and Eddie.
So?
Well, with that lineup in place, 1980, Duran Duran was ready to get to work. They started writing and gigging and demoing all sorts of music over the next 6 months. By September, they had all the songs that would become their debut album ready to go. They also had some good fortune on the road, too. While they were opening for Hazel O'Connor, the band gained a solid fan base, and they caught the eyes of critics and labels. Critics and labels said, you already got fans? Like, come on, bring it in. They got into a bidding war over Duran Duran. The band ended up signing with EMI in December of 1980 because, as they said, they felt a certain patriotism to go with the label home of fellow British icons and first British invasion pioneers, the Beatles. So I respect that. Want to go with the Beatles label because of course you do. They developed a really distinct signature style and ethos that they were calling New Romantic after some writings by author Beverly Glick. The New Romantic subculture was marked by really eccentric fashion, glam style, anti-punk sentiment. Although really, all of those things taken together, it kind of ends up equally rebellious and against social norms in its own way. Like they go so far anti-punk, they kind of become similar in the opposite direction. Other New Romantic adjacent acts, like the Culture Club and David Bowie, they leaned a lot into gender bending and androgyny, all these other tropes that really, in 1980, kind of ruffled the feathers of society. They were striking and different. But that's kind of the movement that Duran Duran is helping spearhead. New Romantics. Duran Duran put out their first self-titled album in June of 1981. It featured tracks like Planet Earth, Careless Memories, and of course, Girls on Film. That was the big hit from that record. It went to number 5 on the UK charts, and they crafted the music video very intentionally and specifically to turn heads and get chatter in the media. The Girls on Film music video features topless women mud wrestling and pillow fighting and really just leans into sexuality and like being provocative and risque. They made that video just when MTV launched in the US, right? 1981, 82. That is peak debut of MTV. And so the band had visions of the video being shown in clubs or on pay-per-view TV channels. Like they wanted people to seek it out and be taken with it. The director said, we were very explicitly told by Duran Duran's management to make a very sensational and erotic piece that would be for the clubs where it would get shown uncensored just to make people take notice and talk about it. So marketing brilliance, I guess. They really did start to generate some buzz. Their self-titled album cracked into the top 20 in the UK. And plus, after the heavily censored version of the music video hit the airwaves on MTV, the band drummed up enough support abroad to take on their first tour of the United States. Kind of a club tour, smaller venues, more intimate, but a US tour is a US tour. So all this is happening, the band is on the rise. They're poised and ready for a major breakthrough, and with their second record, Rio, they set out to make it happen. Nick Rhodes said, when we went into the rest of the writing to prepare the Rio album, we hadn't really had time to think about the success that we'd achieved with the first album. We had already moved on, and we got some songs that we thought were as good, if not better, than some of the songs on the first album already. So that's great. I mean, they're future focused. Eyes on the horizon. Plus, it's nice to hear that they're more excited about the stuff on Rio. Like, that's always a good idea when you feel that your band is moving in a new positive direction. They spent 8 weeks working on the record, and they rented apartments nearby the studio to maximize their working time. So they just wanted to shorten the commute, go in all the time, and just practically live there. Except for the Chauffeur, which they kind of constructed as they went along, all the other tracks were very meticulously arranged ahead of time. They knew exactly how they wanted it to sound. We want this instrument here, we want that instrument there. we want the production this way. They really got granular with it. They started with the bass of the drums and the synth, and then they built from those really solid foundations with more guitar, more keys, and finally they put the vocals on top. That was the same process they used for the first record, and since they were very familiar with it, having done it then, it came really naturally to them on Rio. They also got creative with other sounds, too. Kind of weird little diegetic interspersed things like cigarettes lighting, girlfriends laughing, little sound effect type things. Even at one point they did a blend of acoustic drums with electric toms layered over top, which kind of gives this album that 80s feel, but doesn't make it feel so campy with the electronic drums that it's dated, you know? It's a good balance. And Simon Le Bon, he's the lyric writing engine of the group. His song lyrics were mostly based off the band's first time in the US. So there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of glitz and glam and freedom and just the thrill of being a new band out in the world, scrapping their way across the pond.
It was pretty neat.
Yeah, they spent 8 weeks with the music. They lived close to get it done, but even still, they had to kick it into high gear in order to get the album mixed before the end of March in 1982. At that point, they had to fly to Sri Lanka to work on some of the music videos. They actually ended up with music videos for 6 of the 9 tracks. This album is built for MTV. So they buckled down and they made the mixing happen, but it was close. I think they finished it like just a day or two before they had to leave, and they spent the whole plane ride like with the album on repeat, just listening to it, admiring all the hard work they'd put in. As far as like the sonic style goes of Rio, the label said the band should evolve their sound and become Led Zeppelin and Talking Heads having a baby and calling it Duran Duran. So, find the intersection between those two things. Although I think Rio leans a little bit more Talking Heads, a little bit less Led Zeppelin. But they get this new wave synthy disco rock with a gothic edge. This whole album kind of has like a dark undertone to it. Rich dark. Like, I don't know. The color on the album, this deep maroonish kind of purple, really feels like it encapsulates the album to me. But it's new and it's exciting. The band was actually very happy with the final product. They said, it sounds like us. I don't think it sounds like anybody else. And that's pretty true.
I agree. Yeah, they have a very unique sound.
Yeah, that's why they're so good for a podcast episode. I love a good, unique album. One of one.
You don't want to just do Taylor Swift over and over and over and over?
No, I don't think so. 2 is enough for her for quite some time. Well, despite lyrically being inspired by their trip to America, the title Rio was inspired by the city in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. John Taylor loved the band's trip to Rio. He said, Rio to me was shorthand for the truly foreign, the exotic, a cornucopia of earthly delights, a party that would never stop. So he brought that to the band as the album title. They loved it. Simon said, the word looks great, it sounds great, and it makes people think of parties and rivers. He pointed out that it's Spanish for river, of course, but he said it makes people think of foreign places and sunshine, which is great. When it came out, Rio was a big fan hit, and it turned out to be Duran Duran's international breakthrough, but like not without extensive remixing. It was pretty wild. We'll talk about some of these remixes when we get into the specific tracks, but there's so many different iterations of Rio with different remixes of different songs. It's very unique. But even though fans loved it, and it was a major player in the second British invasion with the Culture Club and the Eurythmics and Spandau Ballet and Tears for Fears and Wham, critics were pretty middling and even negative towards Rio. The Record Mirror gave it 2 stars, The Village Voice gave it a C-. That kind of surprises me. I mean, it's kind of no secret that this is like Duran Duran's best album by most metrics. And 2 stars from some publications.
Probably pretty much all of them.
Yeah, you think Duran Duran caps out as a 2-star band? I mean, I know at the time they didn't know that, but still. But of course, that's just critics. The audience is going to do what the audience is going to do. Rio went to number 2 on the UK album chart, number 6 on the Billboard Top LPs and Tape chart in America, and it also charted in Australia, Canada, the Netherlands, Finland, New Zealand, Norway, Sweden, all over the place. And in later days, its greatness really has become recognized. Yahoo Music said, was there ever any album that embodied all things grand and glamorous about the escapist, excessive, exotic, erotic, aspirational 80s more than Duran Duran's Rio? And I feel like the answer is probably not. I think this is the cream of the crop of the early 80s escapist, excessive, exotic, erotic, aspirational music. Nowadays, now that hindsight has given us 2020 vision, AllMusic has given it 4.5 stars. Pitchfork put it at a 7.3. Pop Matters gave it an 8. It fares much better in most modern contexts. A modern-day reviewer for Trouser Press said that Rio fulfills the band's potential and its pinnacle, displaying stronger songwriting and far more intricate arrangements. The music's clearly danceable but brilliantly listenable as well. Laban handles tantalizing melodies and obtuse lyrics with confidence, while honestly proficient musicianship by the other four defines each song's character differently. There isn't anything less than good, and Rio, Last Chance on the Stairway, and New Religion are startling in their melodic excellence. So that is a heck of a review.
Heck of a review.
So that's the Rio era. What a breakout record. By 1983, Duran Duran was known as the Fab Five, another nod to the Beatles meant to play on their Fab Four moniker. Their record Seven and the Ragged Tiger produced some hits like The Reflex. They did a stadium tour in the US. They played Live Aid. They did a James Bond song, A View to Kill. Yeah, that actually was the first Bond theme that charted in the United States. So kudos to them. Duran Duran is also featured on the annual Christmas staple, Do They Know It's Christmas Time at All? By Band Aid. You can hear Simon singing it. But in those early 80s, there were weddings and side quests in the group. For a while, they splintered off into some side projects. The Taylors went off to join the funk rock group Power Station, and Simon Le Bon and Nick Rhodes started a band called Arcadia to explore more atmospheric music, kind of to dig deeper into what they did on the Chauffeur. Nick Rhodes said that both bands were commercial suicide, but we've always been good at that, which is hilarious. Thankfully, it wasn't too commercially suicidal, and they were kind of able to keep going. In 1986, Roger and Andy Taylor, they were just too burnt out to keep going on, so they kind of left, walked away from the Fab Five, and they dropped to a, Fab 3?
A terrific 3.
Terrific 3 works, but I don't know, Fab 3 seems funnier. It's Le Bon, it's Rhodes, it's John Taylor, the lone Taylor, last Taylor standing. But Duran Duran, they kind of started their career as this teen idol band, right? A lot of young women were listening to Duran Duran. They were the teen hits at the time, and they were really struggling to shed all these preconceptions about them. They had trouble recentering their identity when they started to try and make more mature music. Kind of the Disney Channel Kid Star effect. People see them as the teen idol band all the time.
Classic.
Yeah. Rolling Stone said that they lost a good deal of their identity, and that's never a place you want to be. By 1993, Duran Duran had added guitarist Warren Cucurullo to the lineup, and they recorded a second self-titled album, a reintroduction, that really brought them back into the limelight. And honestly, it worked. Come Undone was a pretty big hit, and their song Ordinary World even earned an Ivor Novello prize for songwriting. Do you know Ordinary World?
I think so.
I actually know covers of it more than the Duran Duran version. The first time I heard it was as a cover. So it surprised me when I learned that Duran Duran was behind it.
By who?
It was by a metal band called Red.
I feel like maybe I know a cover too.
Who's your cover by?
I don't know. I know the title Ordinary World sounds familiar, but I also didn't think that was Duran Duran.
You'd know it if you knew it.
I'd know it if I knew it.
Yeah, but big hits. Those were big hits for the band. And that sudden burst of success actually kept John Taylor from walking away from the band. And it sent Duran Duran on their biggest tour ever. Well, I mean, it kept John Taylor in the band a little bit longer. He left by 1997. But all that success got another 4 years out of him. So then he took 4 years off. But by 2001, the classic quintet lineup reunited. They spent 5 years together again. And then Andy Taylor left again. Duran Duran was back down to a quartet. Up till today, the lineup is mostly the still classic Simon Le Bon, John Taylor, Nick Rhodes, and Roger Taylor. So that's cool. They're short of Taylor, but still functioning pretty much as they were. To date, they've released 16 studio albums, which is a surprisingly high number. I did not expect Duran Duran to be so prolific in their discography. Their most recent, Dance Macabre, came out in 2023, so they might be due up for another one, honestly.
Maybe one will come out on the day this episode comes out.
Maybe. It looks like their latest single came out on October 23rd, 2025. Right about the time the Mixtaper was talking about them, actually. Just after. That's remarkable. He's done it again. Well, as for Duran Duran's awards and accolades, they've got 42 major award wins, including 2 ASCAP Pop Music Awards, 6 Billboard Music Award nominations, 2 Brit Awards, 2 Grammys on 5 nominations. Their latest Grammy nomination was literally this year. I mean, just a month or two ago, for a deluxe version of Dance Macabre, which was for 2024, but it made the cutoff for the Grammys this year. They also have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. They've got 3 Ivor Novello Awards in total. They have an MTV VMA and 2 Q Awards. Plus, the band made it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022. So that's Duran Duran in the nutshell. Really interesting story. I honestly want to dig into more of their discography, but there's no time for that yet. First, we have to make it through this episode, and we have to talk to the Mixtaper Mixtaper about some Factor Spin. How's he feeling?
He's ready to dispin the spin.
Dispin? Oh, brother.
The fact to spin.
I don't know. You can't just add a do to the beginning of a word and double it and call it a Duran Duran pun.
Watch me.
No.
I'm gonna to go now so he can come out.
You just said to go once. That's not even... Oh, you're getting sloppy with it.
I know. Hey, it's me. The Mixtaper.
Yes. Hello again, Mixtaper.
What's up?
Not much. Have you been lonely in your nightmares since last week?
Yes.
I thought so, yeah.
But not so lonely anymore because now I have a new... Well, you're not new, but I get another opportunity to play our favorite game show together, Fact or Spin.
Yes, that is true. I don't know too much about Duran Duran in terms of like niche Fact or Spin level facts. I know there's some good stuff out there.
Sure is.
What do you have for me first?
Up first... Oh, I can't start with that one. Never mind. That's too funny.
Oh, too funny. Oh, we get funny later. That's exciting.
Hey, I think it's funny, which probably means you'll think it's #stupid.
I think it's kind of #stupid that you called it #stupid.
See? Proving my point. Our first fact. Are we ready?
Are we ready? What's up first?
Up first, Duran Dudrum.
Oh, no. You're doing it. Is this how it's gonna be? All of your facts are gonna be the way?
I don't know what you're talking about. That's just my first fact. Duran Duradrum.
Duran Dudrum?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What about the drum are we talking about?
Specifically Simon Le Bon's yacht called Drum.
He had a yacht called Drum?
Yeah.
Why?
Who am I to say what you name your boat?
Well, I mean, I guess that's fair, but Drum, he's not even the drummer.
Yeah, I don't have any information on why it's called. It's a pretty famous boat. I just don't know why it's called that.
Okay, well, pretty famous. I actually don't know anything about it. What's so famous about it? What's so Factor Spin worthy about it?
Well, we'll get to the Factor Spin worthiness. Let's just talk about the boat first.
Of course.
Drum is a maxi yacht currently owned by Scottish car sales group Arnold Clark Automobiles.
Oh, okay.
It was formerly owned by lead singer of Duran Duran, Simon Le Bon.
Uh-huh.
And it is a competition maxi yacht. So it's one that you like race.
For yacht racing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Not a yacht. I mean, like a big party boat. A yacht, like a racing yacht. Okay. So did Simon Le Bon race?
He sure did.
Oh, how'd he do?
Not well.
Oh, whoops. Well, that's one reason to sell the boat. They say every boat owner's happiest 2 days are the day that you buy your boat and the day that you sell your boat, so.
The yacht, it just kind of has a bit of a cursed history.
Really? Oh, fun. Drum the Yacht. Drum the Cursed Racing Yacht.
Yeah.
What's cursed about the history?
Well, it was designed by Ireland-based boat designer Ron Holland and commissioned by Rob James to be sailed in the Whitbread Round the World race. And Mitsubishi sponsored the yacht. It was originally supposed to be named apparently Colt Cars.
Okay.
Don't know how that got changed to the Drum.
I don't know. It sounds like
Still don't have any information on that.
Sounds like people name their yachts like they name their Kentucky Derby horses.
But, it was commissioned by Rob James and he drowned in a sailing accident during construction, so he never got to see the finished boat.
Well, you can't sail the boat during construction, fool. What are you doing? Wait till it's built. I'm just kidding. God rest his soul. So he's never gets to see the boat.
Yeah, but his second in command, Jeff Holgrave, he finishes getting it ready to sail in this race. So he gets it all up and running, but then Mitsubishi pulled the sponsorship. Again, unknown reasons.
Okay, so they can't race after all.
Well, not without some other benefactors.
Uh-huh.
Such as Simon Le Bon, who became a co-owner of the yacht. Him and the Barrow brothers bought it and helped get it finished after Mitsubishi pulled the sponsorship.
Okay.
So, of course, naturally, that means that he wants to participate in the inaugural race it was in.
Oh.
The 1985 Fastnet race.
Totally. Now, does he have any experience sailing?
I don't know. It was one of the favorites to win, so...
Well, maybe the boat was.
Maybe. Or at the very least, he was there.
Yeah.
It was one of the favorites to win the race. but the boat lost its keel.
Oh.
Which I don't know if you're familiar with boats.
Well, the keel is the back of the boat, right? Because you keel haul someone, you drag them along behind the boat. So the keel is the rear end, right?
Well, the keel's just the bottom, but you have the fin keel at the back or the ballast keel at the front.
Okay.
But just like the bottom of the boat is the keel.
Sure. So they lost the bottom of the boat?
Yep.
How'd that go? I mean, that's not a favorite to win sort of situation.
Not anymore.
No. So Simon got off okay, was able to swim,
Well, hang on.
hanging on.
Let's not go making assumptions.
he's alive and well today.
But the keel was lost because the keel supplier failed to heat treat the structure that held the keel to the yacht.
Oh,
So it failed when put under load.
because it wasn't heat treated.
Yeah. So therefore, poor Drum capsized.
Poor Drum.
And remember, this is in the middle of the race.
Yeah. I mean, and if it's a favorite boat, it might be pretty fast and towards the front of the pack when this happens. Are there other boats coming up behind?
Yeah, so it capsizes, and actually, Simon and the crew were trapped inside the overturned hull of the boat.
Oh, hell no.
They're stuck in the hull, upside down, can't get out, just in that little pocket.
Well, that's terrifying.
Yeah, and they're there for nearly 40 minutes before rescuers can finally get them out.
Yikes. Well, that's so scary.
But is it the true?
Okay. That was a heck of a first fact. A lot of story going on there.
Well, yeah, we had to start with poor little Drum.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This feels like some sort of a pun on drum roll. I can't in good conscience say that this is true. Why is the boat named Drum? It rolls over? I don't know about all that. I think I'm going to say this one's a spin.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, man.
Is there anything to that, or...
I really did think you weren't going to notice the drum roll pun.
Well, when your name is Drum, I don't know.
But luckily for me, this is still a true fact, even with the drum roll pun.
Man. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe...
The little drummer yacht.
So he got stuck in the hole for how long? Hours?
40 minutes.
An hour. Probably felt like hours to him.
Yeah, but the really sad part about poor Drum is that he didn't have life insurance.
Well, he probably need boat insurance.
Well, yeah, but in this world where I'm talking about Drum like he's a person, the equivalent to boat insurance would be life insurance.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Laban did not insure the vessel. But that didn't stop them from refitting Drum with a brand new, properly heat-treated keel and having him compete in the 1985-86 Whitbread Round the World race.
Did he do better?
Where he finished in 3rd place.
Oh, that's much better than drowning.
Yeah. And he had a 50-minute documentary released in 1987 called Drum, An Extraordinary Adventure. Or that was the UK's title. In the US, it was called Drum, The Journey of a Lifetime.
Interesting.
So like I said, he's a famous boat. Has his own documentary.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So famous that even in 2005, for the 2005 Fastnet, 20 years after that original harrowing keel loss. Oh, also apparently Simon Le Bon had to be airlifted after the accident.
I mean, that makes sense because you are in the middle of the water.
Oh, sorry, no. He was not airlifted back in 1985. I'm so sorry, I misread this. In 2005, Simon Le Bon took place in the 2005 Fastnet 20 years later, and unfortunately, the yacht was once again beclaimed and did not finish.
No, what happened to the 3rd place?
Not the same drum it used to be.
I guess.
Or I guess it is the same drum it started as, but it was beclaimed. And because it did not finish, Simon Le Bon, who again was on the boat, had to be airlifted off the yacht by helicopter to have him fly to Japan for a scheduled Duran Duran performance at the Summer Sonic Festival in Tokyo.
Wow.
And apparently there's a documentary about that as well. The reunion was the subject of a 62-minute documentary called Drum Unfinished Business.
I think his business was finished. Okay, keel hauling is different than I thought, and it makes sense with your definition of keel. I had to look it up because I was a little bit wrong. It's not when they throw you off the back of the boat and drag you behind the ship. They throw you off the side of the boat and you get sucked under the ship and dragged along the keel. Mm-hmm. That's so much worse.
Oh, apparently Drum was also in the media in 1988 when he was involved in a collision with the Royal Navy submarine.
Oh, no.
So yeah, like I said, Drum just a little cursed.
Yeah, just a bit. So that is Duran Dudrum. What's next?
Here's a fun little picture of Drum himself.
Well, he is beautiful.
Yeah. Up next, Duran Duryachtin.
What? Is this another boat fact? Duryachting?
Duryachtin. Yeah. No G. I-N apostrophe.
Duryachtin apostrophe?
Yeah. Duryachtin.
Okay, more yachting things, huh?
Yeah.
What else could there be?
Well, we're not done with the story of Drum.
What?
That's why I said we had to start with Drum.
Yeah, I guess we did.
I had to set Drum up. He was in a famous music video.
Oh, music video. Okay, what music video is that? I assume a Duran Duran music video, but I guess it could be any.
The filming of Rio.
Oh, the Rio music video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I've seen the Rio music video. I know there's a yacht in it. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of the yacht and match it with this picture of Drum. It's been a while since I've seen the video. I don't know if I remember. What's Drum doing in the video?
Almost capsizing again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Drum doesn't quite have his sea legs.
Well, that's a bad thing for a boat to not have.
Yeah.
Why is he almost flipping over? Is the band hanging out on one side too much?
Well, they're filming the video, on Drum, getting shots of the band out on the open water. And during one of the maneuvers, Drum tilted dramatically, almost capsizing, and it ended up actually throwing a few of the crew members off the boat.
Oh dear. It is cursed. Cursed history of this boat.
None of the band or the cameras ended up in the water, luckily. And the cameras were actually rolling when this maneuver happened. So there's one shot in the music video that is from that footage of that maneuver, and it cuts off right before the thing goes crazy.
Oh, okay. Well, I can see it. I'm a little suspicious.
Yeah?
Yeah, because, the music video is super yachty, and I don't know, would you have introduced a fact about a yacht but would Duran Duran have 2 yachts in their lives? I think if the boat tilts so severely that some crewmen are almost going overboard, I don't know how you keep the cameras rolling and not going overboard too. I'm going to say this one's a spin.
He's going spin.
Yeah, he is.
Locking that in?
Yeah, I think you've tried to bait me with a true fact about a yacht named Drum and a music video that you knew I'd know with a yacht. This feels deliberately tricky.
Did you consider that I found all this information about Drum because I was looking up information about the boat in the music video?
That's true. That is a good point. Yeah, Drum's a cursed boat. I don't know. Rio, this song came out in 1982. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know how long it would take to fix Drum after the first disaster. But if they had it working by 1986, I'm not so sure the boat would have been functional in 1982.
Well, the first Fastnet race was in 1980, so that gave them 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be hopping back on that boat.
How long does it take to put a new keel on?
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, go and spin?
Yeah, I'm sticking by it.
This is a Despin.
A Despin. Wow. Awesome. Well, what's the lie?
It was deliberately tricky.
Oh.
I knew it's a boat that you would know from the music video. It's a music video you would know, and I gave you the boat as a true fact first. And the boat they were on did almost capsize, throwing crew members off.
Oh my goodness.
It's just not Drum.
No, there were 2 yachts in Duran Duran's life.
Yeah, they were a 2-yacht band.
A 2-yacht band? Well, for a while in there, it was a 1-yacht band anyway. This is just, I think that's more yachts than any one band needs.
It's true. This one was not Drum. In fact, Drum wasn't even built yet. Drum wasn't actually competing till 1985 in the first one. He wasn't commissioned till 1983.
Oh, so you did kind of fudge the numbers.
Well, it was a detail I was worried you would remember from the first fact, but then you didn't, and I was like, that's good.
I did forget. Some of the specifics do get dumped from my memory.
But that's enough about Drum. Let's move on.
Yeah.
To some of the other band members.
Drum is not a band member.
Honorary.
The Sab 6.
Let's talk about Duran running with the Bulls.
Oh, goodness. Did Duran go running with the Bulls? I keep saying Duran. Did Duran go running with the Bulls?
Yeah.
Interesting. In Spain, right? Pamplona? Do they do the running of the bulls?
Yeah, Pamplona.
Wonderful. I know a little bit about that. Can anyone just jump in the streets and run with the bulls?
Nope.
Are there rules? You have to sign up?
Sure are.
Okay. How do they get to do this?
Who said they got to?
I think
The
you...
key piece of information that you're assuming here and shouldn't be is that they intended to go running with the bulls.
Oh no. Did they accidentally run with the bulls? Or did they just go watch it?
They misheard instructions while they were in Pamplona and briefly ended up in the running route before realizing they were not where they were supposed to be.
Okay. Bulls are not imminent then, right? They're just in the path?
Bulls are not imminent, no.
Oh, what a relief. But how scary.
To be fair, bulls are imminent, just not like immediately.
They have a little time to get out of the way.
Yeah, oh yeah, like bulls aren't even in sight yet, but it's still very scary to be like, oh, we're here because they're coming and we're all of a sudden in the wrong spot and we need to not be in the wrong spot before they get here.
Yeah.
They referred to it as a very enthusiastic morning walk to get out of the path.
I bet. How far did they have to go? How long did they have?
I don't know. It's really all I got. Just this little anecdote.
Okay, that's really fun. I'm so suspicious of you changing Duran Duran, like to tell me that Duran Duran with the bulls.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going to say it's a fact. I think the fact that the bulls were not right there, they didn't have to like actively flee. I think that bodes well in my mind for this one.
Going with the fact.
Yeah, I think I'll believe it.
This is another Despin.
No.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's the whole genesis of my Duran de blank theme. Is I wanted to do Duran de running with the bulls.
I wondered. I was kind of suspicious of it, but not enough.
And then I found drum, and I was like, oh, I can do Duran Durum.
Oh, Durum is what you were trying to do?
Durum,
You kept saying Dudrum.
the drum, Durum.
But Durum.
I don't know, whatever makes
Durum is actually kind of funny, but Dudrum is kind
Durum.
of silly. And Duryachtin doesn't make any sense.
Duryachtin was just because I needed a fourth one.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to make that one fit. I said, let's just go real dumb with it. But are you ready for our final ramp?
No, I am, however, ready for our final Duran Duramp.
Oh, Duran Duran, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Darn it, you got me in on it. This is my last chance on the stairway for a 50-50.
Mm-hmm. And this one is called Duran Durannequins.
Okay, what's that mean?
Well, what do you think Anakin's is gonna be?
Well, it sounds like a Star Wars thing.
No, not Anakins. Quins. Duran.
What do you spell it? Just...
D-U-R... Dur...
Oh my gosh.
Well, sorry. Duran, it'd just be Duran, but then Akins added to it. A-Q-U-I-N-S. Like mannequins.
Oh, like mannequins.
Duran Durannequins.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to get to that.
Just Durannequins.
Rannikins. Okay. Duran Duran mannequins. Durannequins.
Yeah.
Do they have mannequins of themselves?
They don't. No.
Someone does.
A whole town did.
What? What town? Like Birmingham, where they're from? Rio de Janeiro? What this album's named after?
No, this was right in the middle of Duran mania in the U.S.
Oh, like a British invasion type phenomenon. Duran mania.
Yeah.
They've done everything like the Beatles. Goodness.
Ottumwa, Iowa.
Iowa?
Mm-hmm.
Why Iowa?
Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just they were in love with Duran Duran, I guess. They had the mania.
Sure. I mean, so the whole town has...
So much so that for their Hungry Like the Wolf parade, all the shops along East Main Street, where the parade was, going through, installed Duran Durannequins in their windows. They had Simon in pastel linen, Nick in... Actually, I guess they don't say what they had Nick in. But then they had John in a red leather jacket, and I assume Nick was in something.
Well, yeah, probably.
So all the shops along there dressed up their mannequins to resemble Duran Duran. And yeah, there's a whole parade. Apparently, at some point during the party, or the parade, or the festival, or whatever, the hardware stores, this is the only bit I have about Nick, whatever he was supposed to be wearing, the hardware store's Nick Mannequin mysteriously disappeared and then reappeared in the window wearing a prom dress.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
And all the stores have Duran Duran mannequins?
Oh, just mannequins dressed as Duran Duran people.
Well, sure, right.
So, Durannequins.
Yeah, okay. I think this is a spin. Suspiciously disappearing mannequins, Duran Duran, this early 80s kick. It feels an awful lot like the movie Mannequin, right? Do you know that one? Is that from the 80s?
What?
The movie
Wait.
about mannequins that come to life. It's like Night at the...
Have you seen a movie I haven't seen? Hang on, what?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Have you not seen Mannequin? It feels a lot like what this fact is kind of about.
1987 film Mannequin follows a struggling artist who lands a job dressing department store windows only to discover the mannequin he once created is alive. Just for him.
It's a weird one.
This is nuts.
It's a weird one.
Oh, that's James Spader in it, though.
Yeah, Mannequin. I've seen bits and pieces of it a while ago, but it's very 80s, and Duran Duran's very 80s. Just thinking that's a lot suspicious.
Oh, it also has Andrew McCarthy in it.
Yeah, what do you know?
In case you don't know who Andrew McCarthy is, he was in, actually, I don't know what you would know him from.
I know him from Mannequin.
Yeah, well, apparently, yeah, that's a good point.
I think it's a spin. Those are two very 80s-y things, and they're suspiciously coming together in this fact.
Fair enough.
It's wild that a random small town in Iowa would have Duran Duran-themed mannequins. I guess Duran Mania could have been a real thing, but I don't know.
This is a spin.
Hey!
A spin.
It's a spin. Is it in any way related to the movie? Or did I just get lucky?
Not at all.
Whoa!
That's nuts.
What do you know? Sometimes my deep cinematographic knowledge really pays off, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
You just like that the word mannequin and Duran shared kind of a syllable? Is that how we got here?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my gosh.
It was, what else can I put Duran in? And I got Durannequin.
I thought you were going to maybe come with some facts about like the durian fruit or some other suspiciously similar things. I guess I didn't put that past you, but Durannequin, the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
That was too close to the actual latest Jurassic World movie where there's the D-Rex.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I've never seen Jurassic World. You know me, and if you watch the March Madness episode, you know I haven't seen many movies.
In the newest one, they're like on an island where all the like mutated dinosaurs were cast off to that like they were experimenting on to try to make new dinosaurs for the theme park.
Ridiculous.
The big bad evil one, the big scary one is the D-Rex, and it's just like a big T-Rex that's like got... It's almost as if they're like, yeah, we can't be bothered to even make dinosaurs look like dinosaurs anymore. We just kind of want to have gross blob things on the screen that are scary.
That sucks.
Because that's like what they did with like all the dinosaurs. It really did. It was not good.
Maybe that's why I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's why. You probably would like the first Jurassic World, though, because it's kind of what you wanted Jurassic Park to be.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, Mixtaper, thanks for another wonderful week of Factor Spin. A lot of yachting. What do you know? We'll see you next week. We'll call the chauffeur to get you out of here.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Of course. Enjoy your week.
Yeah.
There he goes, just like a river twisted through a dusty land. And welcome back to Connor.
What's up? I'm back.
Yes, you are. And are you ready to talk about this album cover?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Wonderful. Well, it obviously doesn't feature any pictures of the band. Since they were doing so many tours and photos and music videos, the band felt like they didn't need to be featured on the album cover, which is kind of rare at the time. So instead, they went with this painting of a woman. It's by Patrick Nagel, and the band's manager found him when he saw his work published in Playboy magazine. So there you go. I mean, Duran Duran continues the tradition of evocative source material for their media. When Patrick Nagel presented this art to them, Rhodes said that we all said instantly, yes, that's it. That's the cover. In 2024, people uncovered that the model for the image was Marcy Hunt. That's her name. This album artwork, I mean, with the painting and stuff, it took so long to get in that sleeve designer Malcolm Garrett only had a week at most to finish designing the album sleeve, which is wild. He said, the name made me think of cigars and cigar packaging, the whole idea of something Latin and something Cuban and South American. So they made it like a cigar. And like a cigar package, they even had a little sticker sealing the LP shut. You had to cut through the physical sticker on the actual record to get into the record.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And cigars also inspired the font, too, from Duran Duran to Rio. Rhodes said, it just seemed to represent everything we wanted at that point, cigars. Garrett said, what we were doing with music then was always about creating and defining a visual world in which the fans operated and could come to understand. So that's what they're trying to do with this painting, create a visual world. I like it. It's very stripy and it's colorful in a subtle way. Like the main colors that pop are obviously the black of her hair and the white of her skin, but like there's little flashes of color. The red of the lips, the purple of the earrings, the orange and green stripes, the maroon of the surrounding album. It's just a really interesting sort of dynamic.
I like it.
Yeah, me too. And also she's wearing the sharpest earrings I've ever seen.
Dude, those are so sharp. How's she, her and walruses can't look down.
That's right. You know how you kill a walrus? Tell him he has a spot on his shirt.
And then he really will.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, let's talk about these 9 tracks on Rio. There's some big hits in there, and we start off strong with one of those big hits and a title track.
Title track!
Rio was the 4th single from the album and Duran Duran's 7th overall, and it was eventually a hit in the United States, but not until after Hungry Like the Wolf was a bigger hit and kind of broke the dam. Once people heard that one, then they were like, Duran who? Like, we gotta go back and get more of this. Cashbox said the melody's warm sea breeze contrasts effectively with the menace in Wolf and is equally catchy. It went to number 14 on the Cashbox charts, as well as the Billboard Hot 100. And it's a song that started out actually about Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Right, the whole quote about the party that would never stop, that applies to the song Rio as well as the entire album called Rio.
Mm-hmm.
But when Simon was writing it, he pivoted from the city to kind of a song about a girl named Rio. And the band is also called the song a metaphor about their desire for international success across the world. So that's neat. I think Rio's a captivating start to this album. It's high energy. It's fun.
It's a great start.
Yeah.
I really like Rio.
Me too. Now, the song starts with this ominous kind of swelling, building sound, right? This big noise that kind of crescendos into the opening of the song. Do you know how they did that?
How?
They opened up a grand piano, and then they took some metal bars, like some rods, and they threw them onto the strings. And that's how you get that kind of resonant, deep noise. And then they reversed the sound to make it crescendo like that.
Huh.
So if you go listen to it, that's what you're hearing. Metal rods being thrown into a piano. People are so creative.
I've never known I wanted to do that until now.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's some great bass in there. Oh, man. Rio, as an album, has some of the best bass work that you'll find.
But what about the saxophone solo?
And, yeah, incredible saxophone. I mean, you hear what they do with the woodwind now, and it's no surprise that they hired a clarinet player as the 4th person into their band at first. They had a vision for woodwinds, and boy did they execute. I love Simon's voice. Like, he sings from, like, deep in his throat. He's just got such a cool style. The synth on a loop back there, the arpeggiator, is a fantastic complement to this. The guitar doing that lead line is so rich and ringing and full. There's just a lot to love about Rio. You can really get lost in it. It's a neat little metaphor. Cherry ice cream smile is just an incredible image. You know you're something special and you look like you're the best. Her name's Rio and she dances on the sand. When she shines, she really shows you all she can. They're kind of simple in the lyric department, but they are pretty memorable. That is for sure. The Mixtaper just taught us about the music video, Shot on a Yacht.
Shot on a Yacht.
It was shot on location in Antigua, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Rio's one of those songs that got a ton of remixes. Apparently, there are more than a dozen official mixes and remixes of Rio. And I noticed that early on, because I feel like I had one version on my iPod and then would hear another version on the radio. Really threw me off. But yeah, this is one of the first 2 Duran Duran songs I ever knew. Holds a special place in my heart. And so going into this album, I really only knew, some of the singles. A little bit of Girls on Film, Ordinary World, a few others. But Rio and Hungry Like the Wolf were the 2 from this record. When the track flipped over to My Own Way, I just knew I was in for a treat.
Yeah.
Because the whole album is just such a vibe. It's like Rio and Hungry Like the Wolf expanded. And there's so many more facets to their sound and the way that they weave a melody together that you don't get on Rio and Hungry Like the Wolf, even though those are obviously both very strong tracks. Just to get into the album songs, and not that My Own Way is an album song, it was still a big hit single, but for me, not one that I knew, that was just such a fun revelation to move through this album. I listened to this album 2 or 3 times today before this episode, and it was nothing. It was just easy listening. You just kind of dissolve into it, and that's great. My Own Way has some edge to it, some distorted guitars, more absolutely powerful bass, very bright, sparkling synths, but it's a lot more of an adamant song than Rio, and I just like that.
I really like the drum beat of this one.
Yeah, you can hear the mix of synthetic and analog drums. There's a few parts where they go kind of choo 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 like a digital drum, but then a lot of it is done with a normal drum set, and the combo is killer. Plus, there's some interesting percussion instruments in there too, almost like a vibroslap sort of sound.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah. Now, this was apparently the band's attempt to match Girls on Film, make a song kind of like that. It was their fourth single. I don't know. It was a surprising pick from this record, I think, to be kind of the lead single, especially with hindsight. The band even calls it one of their least favorite songs nowadays, but for some reason they felt like it should be the first swing after Girls on Film. Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah, that seems incorrect.
Yes, right. The original single was actually a lot more disco-y, a lot more 70s leaning than this New Romantics 80s leaning, but they, when they put it on the album, they amped it up and made it a little more electronica inspired, little new wave like the rest of the album. It's slower, it's synthier, it kind of matches the sonic palette of the album better than a disco song would. I love how echoey his vocals are. I mean, it always sounds like LeBon singing from a canyon, the other side of a canyon at you, right? You just hear this deep reverberation on all these songs. It's great. So Rio, in my own way, were kind of happier sounding songs, peppier, more upbeat. Lonely in Your Nightmare gets a little eerier. Soldiers coming home, like shadows turning red. He's like talking to someone who's experiencing hard times, the darkest night, when empty promises means empty hands. And he's like, hey, you're currently lonely in your nightmare, let me in. I'm trying to be here to be closer to you in this hard time. And there's no need to suffer alone. A great chorus on Lonely in Your Nightmare.
The intro to Lonely Nightmare as well.
Yeah, the guitar part on it is very interesting. It's not as big as the other songs. It's a little twangier and smaller, but I don't know. I think that keeps it mixed up and interesting. The bass is kind of like bending strings in the background too. There's some analog piano in here. Duran Duran is the perfect inflection point for this early 80s blend of synthetic and real.
They also have a weird style with their song naming that I can't quite pin down.
Yeah, maybe it's a British thing, but I think you're right. Having songs Lonely in Your Nightmare, Last Chance on the Stairway, there's something distinct about it. Hungry Like the Wolf, and others too, like A View to a Kill is kind of an odd title. Sound of Thunder, The Night Boat, Seven, and The Ragged Tiger. The whole album has a strange name. New Moon on Monday, Union of the Snake. What is it? You're right.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how to pin it down, but there's something.
It's like how they took the D's off of Duran Duran to make their name and made it smoother. It's like they do the opposite with all their song titles, and they're kind of as clunky as possible. But honestly, a song where it doesn't bother me. Hungry Like the Wolf.
Doesn't bother me pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, no. Pretty great. Honestly, this is the big one. We've talked about it a few times before. Like we said, the Mixtaper brought it from Mixtober this past year. Hungry Like the Wolf, it's kind of an odd situation to tell which single it is because all the numbers get weird. The singles came out at different times in different orders in different countries, but this was roughly the band's fifth single. It hit number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, spent 12 weeks in the UK top 10, and peaked at number 5. It was huge for the band. It's really their big breakthrough. In later years, VH1 said Hungry Like the Wolf was the number 3 greatest song of the 80s, a decade with immense great music. Like, there's so much of it. Rolling Stone put Hungry Like the Wolf at number 398 on their appraisal of the 500 greatest songs of all time, and it's sitting pretty in the streaming era with more than 40 million streams.
And it's been on our podcast before.
Yes, it has.
Making me want some turkey and mashed potatoes right now.
Some Thanksgiving foods because your stomach is hungry like a Thanksgiving wolf.
Yeah.
This is interesting. We talked about how the band was really meticulous about their arrangements. Hungry Like the Wolf, they kind of wrote bit by bit over the course of a day in the studio. One person would show up and start playing a part, and they'd be like, I kind of like this, and they'd be jamming on that part. The next guy would get in for the day, and he heard them playing, and he went, oh, cool, if you're doing that, I could play this with it. And he would make his part, and then the next person would show up and do their part, and the next, and then like that was the way that they wrote Hungry Like the Wolf. Piece by piece by piece by piece, they kind of built it. Andy Taylor said it was a process of fiddling with the new technology that was starting to come in, which is why Hungry Like the Wolf sounds very 80s. John Taylor said, it was a Saturday afternoon, we were in EMI's demo studio, and I think Nick and Andy were kind of messing around. Andy had the riff, Nick had developed the sequence, Simon had a thing, Roger came in and played because he had just bought some Simmons drums. So that's where he got those big fills from. He said, I came in and they'd been working for maybe 2 hours, and I just knew exactly what to play. This song was probably written by Cocktail Hour, which, for all you non-Brits out there, Cocktail Hour typically occurs between 4 and 7 p.m.
Oh. I mean, this song is going on the playlists, probably.
You think? I mean, that's probably pretty accurate. It's so catchy and so high energy, and the shortest song on this album, by the way. The biggest hit and the shortest. It's so cool. The lyrics are based on Little Red Riding Hood's Big Bad Wolf, although the band doesn't even really know, or won't say directly, what the song is about. John Taylor said he doesn't really know what the lyrics are, and he said they're probably just meeting girls or wanting to have sex with someone. So that's his closest guess. This is one of those music videos that they filmed in Sri Lanka, really going global and high budget for the on-site video shoots between Antigua and Sri Lanka. But it was exactly this music video and MTV's constant playback of it that earned the band a very big reputation stateside. And Hungry Like the Wolf won the first ever Grammy for Best Short Form Music Video. So, in the end, it was all worth it. I gotta ask which of your wolves won the fight. Do you think the lyrics of the music is better here?
Specifically on this song?
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah, I think you're right. If the band doesn't even know what the song's about, that's definitely a win for the music wolf.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to choose the lyrics in that scenario.
Yeah. It's just beautiful. I have nothing bad to say about Hungry Like the Wolf. It's the perfect 1982 song.
It is. It's pretty perfect.
Yeah. Okay, and here's a new fact about Hungry Like the Wolf that I didn't know. This song factored into a murder trial.
Excuse me?
Yes, in 1983, there's a woman named Diane Downs. Allegedly, she shot her 3 kids while this song was playing. One of the surviving kids testified to that, about how it was their mom's favorite song, how it riled her up, whatever. And when they played the song in court, I guess she was singing along, quote unquote, unnervingly. So the prosecutors and another author, they said that the keening lyrics of Thwarted Lust had given Diane the courage to do whatever she had to do to get her lover back. So apparently, Hungry Like the Wolf kind of inspired her to murder, which is unreal. She was convicted in 1984, and this song played a part in the trial. Apparently, she was just denied parole again in December of 2025. So that's new.
She's still hungry for it.
Man, I didn't know it had that kind of power.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, so listen at your own discretion. But that's track 4, Hungry Like the Wolf. And we're already halfway through this album by the time we get to Hold Back the Rain.
Goes by fast.
Yeah, it does. Hold Back the Rain was written on Duran Duran's first tour of the U.S. It's Simon Le Bon writing to John Taylor. Apparently, he wrote a little note, put down some things that would become the lyrics on a sheet of paper, and slid them under Taylor's hotel door, and they just never talked about them. That little note was kind of an intervention bit about how Taylor was up late, partying and doing drugs, going home with the wrong kinds of people, as Le Bon said. And so Hold Back the Rain is kind of a love song to him, a tribute to him saying, hey, I love you, we want you to do better. Yeah, I like knowing the story behind it. It's kind of a neat little backstory.
That is neat.
I really like the chorus of Hold Back the Rain. If the fires burn out, there's only fire to blame. The little kind of call and response, hold back the rain. Like, I love that. There's some more big drum fills in here. There's some ambitious high notes for Simon to sing, but I think he kind of does well with them. It's also another of the band's biggest hits, although it's kind of a sleeper pick, and it's also another song with many, many, many versions. And get this, some of those remixes accidentally made it onto reissues of the album. Like, they put the wrong version of the song in some of the reissues.
What?
Yeah, that never happens. And with Hold Back the Rain, it's happened like 6 times. Different versions have made it onto different albums. They've like lost track of the original and like which one's supposed to be where. How confusing. So if you've heard Hold Back the Rain in a different format and you're surprised to hear it in a different way, rest assured, I mean, it might not be your fault. Somebody might have made a mistake and put it where it shouldn't be. Then we kind of move on to a stretch of album that I feel kind of like the same about. Like I said, the whole album is good. It's that key, like what I want from Duran Duran. But New Religion, Last Chance on the Stairway, and to a little bit of a lesser extent, Save a Prayer, they kind of all blend into the same sort of thing for me. I think I agree with that review that said everything on the album is good. A few songs are really unparalleled, but everything is kind of the same level of good. And I just don't think we have any like standout great tracks for a bit. But New Religion is up next.
This is one that surprised me. I didn't know this one.
Yeah.
And the synth on this one was just really fun.
Yeah, it's kind of like chirpy almost.
That's a good description.
Yeah, that's just interesting. I'm talking for free. I can't stop myself. It's a new religion. It's kind of cool. It kind of thematically reminds me a lot of My Own Way. I'm learning to do things my way. I'm talking to myself. It's a new religion. I'm building this thing in my way. It's us who make the noise. There's kind of like a rappy section at the end of it. That's kind of an interesting choice for a bridge. The bass really kicks into high gear. I don't know. That's just an interesting choice. What did you think about that bridge? Somewhere in the 4.5 minute range.
It's okay. It's not as good as the instrumental would be right before it.
No, I think I like it, and I like that it's here, but I'm really glad that they don't do this much. It's a seasoning, right? It's like you want a little bit of it, but you don't want it to overpower the dish. And then that fades out after a pretty hefty 5.5 minutes, making it the second longest song on the album. And then we get One Last Chance on the Stairway, another song with an intriguing intro. Very sparkly, very light, and we kind of get this really awesome melody over these kind of suspended chords. There's a lot of tension building in Last Chance on the Stairway, musically, and not a lot of release till we get to the chorus. So I love that.
Yeah, it's very fun. Very light, like you said.
Yeah, it's a very existential song. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Sometimes I'm caught in a landslide. I'm out of reach. I'll talk if it feels right. I've had my last chance on the stairway. It's kind of like letting somebody walk away, and you've had your last chance to do something about it, and you kind of lost it. When all the curtains are pulled back, we'll turn and see the circles we traced. Ain't no game when you're playing with fire. This is actually maybe one of the most beautiful lyrical songs on the album. One of the most thoughtful, at the very least. Maybe it's something they put in your perfume, or the look in your eyes, or the atmosphere sinking. Don't know what you're thinking, don't know what you're drinking, but it keeps this heaven alive. That's a great run of lyric.
It is a really good run of lyric, actually, yeah.
I like it a lot. And then Save a Prayer comes next. It's the slowest song on the album, the most dissonant, and the last song that's really in line with the Duran Duran we've had so far. It sounds like an old video game with the way they kind of set up the beeps and the boops on the background synth. It's wobbly and wavy. Taylor and Rhodes wrote the chords to Save a Prayer, and they did the sequencer to go underneath it. And then Simon obviously wrote the lyrics. He said they're a realistic and not romantic glimpse into a one-night stand between strangers. AllMusic said, the music of Save a Prayer maintains the stormily romantic quality of the lyric by combining meditative verses with an aching chorus that swells and ebbs in a way that perfectly captures the song's heartbreak. And I think that's great. This album doesn't have very many heartbreak songs. There's some songs of longing, like Lonely in Your Nightmare. But I don't know, the first half of the album feels really happy. Rio, My Own Way, Hungry Like the Wolf, New Religion. The back half of the album gets a little contemplative, with Last Chance on the Stairway and Save a Prayer.
Save a Prayer is very contemplative. And a little techno-y.
Yeah, big on the synth and electronica side. This was Rio's third single. It went to number 2 on the UK charts, and actually it's the band's 6th most streamed song over there. Stateside, Save a Prayer got to number 16 on the Hot 100, which is a pretty solid hit in my book.
It's got a cool beat to it, too.
Yeah, kind of lands on some offbeat.
Exactly.
Also, Save a Prayer is another music video they filmed while in Sri Lanka. This is a fun story. They filmed the video, and at some point in the video, they're riding on elephants, and while they're filming, they hear a weird sound on the tape that they don't recognize. They said, hey, what did we just hear? That's an odd noise. Let's play that back. So they rewind the tape, they play it back. It was an elephant mating call. And when they played it back, one of the other elephants heard it. Roger's elephant started charging towards one of the female elephants with intent. Rhodes said, it was funny, but quite hairy for a moment. It was a mess. And at one point, Andy Taylor, during that shoot, he fell into a lagoon and accidentally swallowed a little bit of water, which led to him coming down with a tropical virus that made him miss the band's next Australian tour. They filmed some of the video in a Sri Lanka religious temple, and they had to wear bare feet so as not to offend, right? So they constantly were burning their feet on the rocks. The monks in the temple were trying to figure out what to do as the country was gearing up for civil war. I mean, just a ridiculous tale of woe behind the scenes for the Save a Prayer music video. You could save a prayer for Duran Duran if you think about it, because boy did they need it. And then the album ends with its most atypical song, The Chauffeur. The Chauffeur, of course, is by Rhodes and LeBon. It's based on a poem that Simon wrote before he was even with the band. His original vision was for The Chauffeur to be an acoustic song, and obviously it did not pan out that way. It is, instead of being a traditional song like the rest, it's a vast soundscape with synthy tones, an ocarina solo, drum machines. Critics call it an outlier because it's very ambient and subdued, whereas the rest of the album is really vibrant and energetic and pointed. And it's kind of grown into a cult classic for the band. the Chauffeur has.
I believe it.
And because it's so unique, it's the only song on the album that they arranged on the spot as they were recording. They did the rest in full beforehand, but on this one they were like, yeah, what should we add to this next? You know, they heard it and they said, what else? What else? What else? Rhodes has called it a favorite for him personally, saying, I'm very proud of it. It's sort of darkly beautiful, which are often my favorite songs. So that's cool. And for this music video, the band was not even involved in the process at all. Guess they had their fill after everything that went wrong with Save a Prayer. It is a haunting song, Sing Blue Silver. What do you think of the Chauffeur? I mean, it's long and repetitive.
Yeah, it's a little long, but I still like it. I just like this band's sound.
Yeah, I do too. Duran Duran's a cool one. And like we talked about, a unique one. Not a lot of people that ever did this.
The lyrics are a little weird. Definitely the music. Wolf is eating good on this album.
Yeah, no doubt. It's not hungry. Full like the music Wolf. Hungry. Not even hungry like the lyric Wolf. Maybe just a little snackish. But that pretty much does it for Rio. We should get into some final spin about Duran Duran.
I hate that.
Oh, now you hate it?
It was cool when I did it.
Oh, I see. I'm just behind the times.
Yeah, trying to be a bandwagon.
I'm a Duran Duran wagon.
I was going to say it, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to say it.
Oh, does that make it cool?
What?
That you were going to say it.
But then I didn't because I realized it wouldn't be cool.
Debatable. Well, I'm a big fan of this album. I thought it was a treat to explore this record and find out that there was a lot more in the world that was like the couple Duran Duran songs that I really knew and liked. I mean, strikingly similar. The whole album has a very consistent vibe and flow to it. Given the music in 86, they have a really good way of finding melodies. The synthesizer augmented songwriting style is really cool to build things over like synth arpeggios. I think that's really special and kind of, you know, people still do it now, but it feels like the 80s are when people were discovering how to do it. And I really like that. So in 86 there. 83 on the lyrics. Most of the time, they're pretty inoffensive. They don't bother me. You know, no lyrics are egregiously bad, and they're all pretty standard. Sometimes there are standout lyrics, like we talked about on Save a Prayer. Hungry Like the Wolf has some great lyrics. Rio has some great lyrics, even though they might not be the most cohesive or easy to decipher in their meaning. The whole album is such a cool vibe, and the lyrics are such a big part of it. They're just kind of lyrics that paint a picture more than tell a story, so I can get behind that. Instruments and production, fantastic. From throwing metal rods in your piano to having an ocarina solo. I mean, the Chauffeur is a really nice change of pace for an ambient track. Sometimes the guitar leads, sometimes the drums lead, sometimes the bass leads, and boy, the bass is fantastic everywhere. 88 for the instruments and the production. I love what they do to Simon Le Bon's voice. They really know how to produce it well, and they play to all of his strengths. Overall vibe, 88. Love the second British invasion. Love the emergence of the New Romantics. I think it's a really cool album that lives up to the bar that I set in my expectations for Duran Duran. So, overall, Rio is getting an 86.7 from me and landing on my ranking list at number 288. Very solid showing for this band and this record. That puts it above Randy Travis's Storms of Life and below Phantogram's 3. Yeah, I see a lot of similarities between 3 and Rio, honestly, especially in the production department. Kind of the dark tone, the synthy ambience that kind of runs through all the tracks. I think those are a really interesting pair of records to compare. I don't see as many similarities with Storms of Life. Oil and water there.
Fair enough.
What about you, Connor?
I like Duran Duran a lot.
And you knew that going in.
And I knew that going in, and unlike with some bands where I thought I was going to like them going in, and then was sadly mistaken
Rascal Flatts.
when I listened to an entire album by them, this one held. Sure, they lyrically kind of all over the place, yeah, but their sound is just so unique, 80s, and I love it. So I'm giving this one, maybe a little biased, 9 out of 10.
Ooh, wow, 9. That's hefty.
Yeah, maybe a little biased.
That's 1 unit for each song.
Yeah, and we're going to give it 9 drums out of 10, of course.
9 drums. Sounds like there were 9 drums by the time they fixed it up and put it back on the water all those times.
And we are going to put it at the bottom of the 9s.
Wow.
We'll put it all the way down there. It probably deserves an 8, but the bias in me is going to kick it up to a 9. Put it right at the bottom.
Yeah, okay. It's rare that we bottom out a category. I can't believe that your current lowest 9 is Creedence Clearwater Revival. That's wild. Let's see, that puts it above for you. Welcome by the Arcadian Wild. Oh, interesting, because Simon and Nick split off into that band called Arcadia. What do you know? What are those top 3s? I mean, you get more than a third of the album, so choose wisely.
Yeah, we're going to go in album order. We're going Rio, of course.
Title track. Yeah.
Title track. Of course, we're going to go Hungry Like the Wolf.
Oh, skipping over My Own Way.
I am.
And Lonely in Your Nightmare.
And that's because I want to give a honorable mention to New Religion.
Wow. Okay.
I said one I didn't know that I really like the synth on. And then, of course, ending it out with Save a Prayer.
Ooh, the Chauffeur was not good enough to make your short list, huh?
I thought it was going in, but I thought I'd give the honorable mention to something new.
Yeah, why not?
I do really like the Chauffeur, though. If it wasn't for I don't want to...
If it wasn't for I didn't want to, I totally would.
No, it's just I want to hold on to my picks right now. I don't want to be going crazy.
That's a good point. Got to keep those top threes.
I do have a special day coming up.
Yeah, that's true. Duke Ellington, his birthday is right around the corner.
Uh-huh.
What's your playlist pick? Are you going to stand by what you said and take Hungry Like the Wolf?
Yeah.
Are we going to be basic and take both Hungry Like the Wolf and Rio?
I'm taking Hungry Like the Wolf, so...
Oh, it's tough not to take Rio. They're clearly the best two songs on this album.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew them so far ahead. Like, I don't associate them first with this album because I knew them both as standalone songs for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I almost want to take My Own Way, just to kind of get a little funk in there.
Do what you want.
No, I got to take Rio. Ugh.
Told you.
It's basic. And we did the same thing last week, too. We took the two big hits with Praying for Daylight and I'm Moving On. We really got to figure something else out. Although we did do different on Biggie. Biggie, we got Gimme the Loot and Juicy. So we stayed away from Big Papa. Usually, I think we're pretty good about avoiding the easy gimme picks. But
normally.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just, you just gotta.
Sometimes there's nothing you can do.
No, but I do think there are some things that you can do. You can follow us on social media at Spin It Pod Official on Instagram and at Spin It Pod on X. Of course, you can visit our website, www.spinitpod.com, for more. Reach out. Tell us all the fun things. Tell us what you think of Rio. Tell us what you know about yacht racing. If Hungry Like the Wolf has ever made you want to commit crimes. If you knew anything about Duran Duran before this episode. If you've ever accidentally played an elephant mating call.
All the time. That's happening to me all the time.
If you are familiar with the 1987 movie Mannequin, just let us know. Say hey.
Just say hey.
Yeah.
Tell a friend about the podcast. Find someone with really pointy earrings and tell them about the podcast.
Oh, fantastic idea. But don't tell them to look down.
Yeah, well, definitely don't do that.
We will see you next week for another exciting episode. And until then, you know what to do. Keep spinning.
Keep spinning.
Oh.
This is how I was going to do that.
Okay. Well, I guess that makes it half cool. If you were going to film a music video in a perilous or exotic location, what would you choose? What would it be?
Good question.
Uh-huh. I know. Duran Duran said, Sri Lanka and Antigua, please. But what's the Connor music video? We'll do it on the Hippin' and Hoppin' album.
I don't think I have an answer for you.
Wow. That makes the outro banter a little lacking.
Well, come up with some better banter for me.
What? It's fine banter. You just don't have an answer for it. This would have been good. Also, I have to confess, every time I hear Simon Le Bon's name, I think of bonbons, like the dessert.
I do too. The bonbon.
Can't help it.
I'm just glad we made it all episode without going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Good on us. Not making a bunch of bonbon jokes.
Thank goodness. That's not like us.
Yeah, we would never take something juvenile like that and run it into the ground.
No, that's not cool.